Imagine spending 10 lakh rupees or even 1 crore rupees on a new firewall, only to plug it in and realize you bought the completely wrong solution for your business. A modern next-generation firewall is a vastly different machine than the legacy packet filters from a decade ago. Today, they handle deep packet inspection, application control, zero-trust access, and live malware sandboxing. The heaviest load comes from SSL and TLS inspection. Decrypting modern encrypted web traffic takes immense computational power. If your hardware is undersized, turning on SSL inspection will instantly bottleneck your network speeds and choke your daily operations. This chart compares initial hardware price to actual 3-year total cost of ownership. Upfront hardware is the smallest expense compared to recurring costs of mandatory subscription renewals, threat intelligence feeds, and specialized engineering labor required to keep the system running. Relying solely on datasheet metrics or base price tags to select your hardware is the fastest way to drain an IT budget and cripple your network performance. So how do you decide between the 4 heavyweights dominating the market: Palo Alto, Fortinet, Sophos, and Cisco? There is no objectively best firewall in a vacuum. There is only the correct mathematical alignment for your specific network, budget, and engineering constraints. We map these vendors on a matrix like this, plotting ease of management against security customization and depth. We also have to weigh pure hardware performance alongside cloud integration. You have to consciously choose your trade-off. Are you optimizing for deep zero-trust security, massive throughput ROI, lean management, or ecosystem integration? You simply cannot acquire all 4 simultaneously. This radar chart maps Palo Alto, the security maximalist. It hits maximums for security and enterprise scale, but drops on ease of use and value. Its high security score is driven by App ID, User ID, and Cortex AI, giving administrators granular, real-time control over every packet. Because of this extreme visibility, they are the standard choice for global banks, large healthcare networks, government agencies, and critical infrastructure. But you pay heavily for that capability. Both the hardware and subscriptions demand a massive premium, and you will need highly skilled, dedicated SecOps engineers just to configure and maintain the deployment. Palo Alto is the logical choice when absolute risk mitigation and deep security must override any budget constraints. Now look at Fortinet's radar chart, the Performance Optimizer. It maxes out across performance, value, and SD-WAN, dipping slightly on ease of use. This is achieved through proprietary ASIC hardware, allowing appliances to process massive throughput at a fraction of the competitor's cost. They also integrate full SD-WAN functionality directly into the box, making them highly attractive for internet service providers, dense data centers, and remote branch offices. The trade-off comes in administration. Navigating their graphical user interface and configuring their security fabric requires a steep learning curve and highly specific experience. If your organization demands enterprise-level network speed and branch connectivity at an unbeatable price point, Fortinet is the optimal choice. Next is Sophos' radar chart, built around simplicity. Ease of use and value hit their peak, but scale and performance drop off. This ease comes from synchronized security. If a laptop gets infected, the firewall automatically isolates it without human intervention. Everything is managed through Sophos Central. That single pane of glass makes it practical for small and medium businesses, local healthcare clinics, busy retail chains, and school districts. However, its architecture struggles with massive scalability and lacks the deep, granular traffic controls required by complex, global enterprise networks. Sophos is the essential choice if you need robust, automated security but lack the dedicated IT headcount to manage complex enterprise systems. Finally, Cisco Secure Firewall's radar chart scores high on VPN, security, and enterprise scale, but lower on value. This deep visibility comes from integrating Talos threat intelligence and their identity services engine, providing an exhaustive map of your network. This makes Cisco the heavy favorite for massive campus networks, large universities, and global enterprises that already rely on Cisco switches and routers. The downsides are administrative. You have to navigate incredibly complex Byzantine licensing structures, and the management interface demands engineers specifically trained in Cisco architecture. Deploying Cisco Secure Firewall only makes strategic sense if your network architecture and your engineering staff are already deeply entrenched in the Cisco ecosystem. Let's put the data sheets aside. Look at this decision flowchart to see how these technical trade-offs align with actual business decisions. We start here at the center. What is your primary organizational constraint? If your main constraint is limited IT staff and you run a small to medium business or a school, follow this path. Your correct outcome is Sophos. If you operate a hospital or a bank where your absolute priority is zero trust security and compliance regardless of cost, you take this path to Palo Alto. If your constraint is budget but you still need massive network throughput and SD-WAN routing across multiple branch offices, this route leads you to Fortinet. And if you are managing a large campus that is already heavily built on legacy Cisco hardware, you follow this path right to Cisco Secure Firewall. Matching your operational reality, your budget, your staff's capability, and your existing tech is vastly more important than buying based on a vendor's marketing material. Before you sign a purchase order, calculate your specific SSL inspection compute requirements. Model out your projected network growth over the next 3 years to ensure you don't buy an undersized box. And remember the operational expense trap. Always negotiate and lock in your multi-year subscription pricing up front, so you aren't hit with unpredictable renewal costs down the line. Drop a comment below with your organization's current size and infrastructure setup, and let the community know which firewall you're evaluating. When procured correctly and matched to your exact constraints, a next-generation firewall functions as a seamless business enabler. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.